Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Okay, so what's this we said when we saw the news? What the Attorney General of the Federation to the chairman of EFCC, you know, there was this letter, FRN versus Danladi Umar, request for briefing. Well, everybody's calling it a query, but, you know, that's what the newspaper says the heading of the letter is. FRN versus Danladi Umar, request for briefing. Danladi Umar is chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal that has tried Senate President Bukola Saraki, and I think has discharged him. Now the Attorney General of the Federation has sent a letter requesting briefing as to why the EFCC, having discharged Justice... okay, thank you very much. And I might as well tell you that's Fasi Yusuf, right next to Luke Onyekekeya. I'll come back and, you know, continue with that introduction. Why exactly there is this current charge against the said justice, considering that under the chairmanship of Mr. Magu, he has been cleared twice. So that's where we're at now. And to now do it properly, thank you very much for being here, Dr. Luke Onyekekeya, member editorial board of The Guardian, and Chief Dr. Fasi Yusuf, lawyer, apart from being a communications consultant. Now,
thank you very much.
Indeed. Let me start with you, Fasi. So, I mean, what does it mean? Is it a query, or is this routine? Because it was leaked, according to one report I read, well, not so much leaked as it was published by a PR firm working on behalf of Justice Umar, you know. So now that that has been sort of put out there in the public, journalists have been able to get hold of the hard copy of the said charge. By the way, Mr. Kayamo, SAN, has also been queried because he's one of the lawyers of the EFCC long-standing. So what's your take on it, Fasi?
Well, your simply put is what I would call Fuji house of commotion.
Bordering almost on the ridiculous.
Honestly, that you have said several times that the federal executive body is not coordinated. They are working at cross purposes. I mean, if an arm, the first estate of the realm, is so confused, then what will happen to the second, third, fourth, and fifth estate of the realm? We thank God that the press has not joined in the confusion.
How do you mean by confusion? Because what we have here is a request to be furnished with details.
Because the society, I mean, the society that is the fifth estate of the realm is being left in a state of confusion. A case was, I mean, of misconduct against the Senate President, moved from that tribunal up to the Supreme Court and back for trial, I mean, for defense. Just one witness was called, and the date was to be communicated for judgment. In between, a matter that was seen to be lacking in merit and that was not worth pursuing suddenly resurfaced without the fiat of the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the chief law officer, and the supervisor of Magu. And again, you engage a senior advocate of Nigeria, not for 1 naira, not for 100,000, not for 1 million, without reference to the supervisor. And the supervisor is singing a different tune, and you are singing a completely different tune. So what do we make of all this? Could there be more to it than what we are being told? Because is there any scheme playing out?
Okay, because to clarify that area, Mr. Kayamo, SAN, his part of the inquiry request is where he derived the authority to furnish to the court with that charge, with the charge that we have right now.
Well, he might say that he got his authority from the chairman of EFCC. He might not know the dynamics.
Again,
he might not know the dynamics.
It's possible.
He might not even know the interplay of political forces.
And I don't know if Mr. Kayamo is in town or not. I would try to reach him. Understandably, maybe me and 10,000 other reporters are trying to reach him. So I wasn't surprised when he wouldn't pick up the phone. But
he's very sad.
Look, what's your take on, how do you see the ground.
Thank you very much. You see, between now, this is February, between now and February next year, we're in an era of politics. This is, you can call it fire on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain, and on the political trend in Nigeria, political terrain in Nigeria. And so, don't be surprised that everything is politicized. Well, from the common man's point of view, anybody in government can be issued query. Anybody can be issued query.
So we agreed then that this is a query.
Yeah.
Even though the heading of the letter was FRCN versus Danladi Umar request for briefing.
I have read
that's just the caption
brief
of the letter.
Something in the newspapers. It calls it query.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a query.
Okay.
Now, the first time I heard about this thing, I got a news flash that query, in fact, the news flash said, Magu in trouble.
Okay.
I said, this man, they have been looking for a way to get rid of him. If he has entered a trap now, then maybe he's in trouble, really. So before I got to know the details of, is a query that was issued to him to explain why he took a chairman of CCT.
Yes.
For trial. Why he took him to court.
Haven't cleared him twice.
Having cleared him twice. But for me, if Magu is given the position, the authority to handle this EFCC assignment as the chief anti-corruption czar, as you may call it, I mean, for me, I think he should be given free hand. If somebody has been cleared 1, 2, 3, 4 times, it doesn't mean that he's now a saint. If he finds any new evidence, I think he is still in a position to take that person up. And that's the way I see it.
And indeed, Fassi, I think that not being in any way, shape, or form learned, I think that that's the only way that ordinary people can think about it, what Luke has just said, that, look, you might have been cleared once, cleared twice, and after that, theoretically, do something worthy of, being investigated again.
Sure.
So, but that is something that the AGF, being a lawyer and surrounded by lawyers, would know only too well.
As a lawyer, I will tell you this. You clear somebody once, you clear somebody twice. This is not an ordinary case. You're talking about a sitting tribunal chairman. And considering the political dimension and what we've been witnessing over the last 2 years, if such a thing should reoccur, and maybe you have new evidence, then the whole world should know. Not that we just wake up one day to hear that Danladi is being sent to the court for trial. When he just presided over that case, that Saraki called only one witness and closed his case. And the next thing will be for him to give judgment. So if it's charged to court, then that judgment is aborted, is arrested. That judgment is arrested, and you cannot go further with it. So what is actually happening? Is there anything that we ought to know that we are not being told? Because you need to look at the political permutations involved in this matter.
On the one hand, but I wanted to clarify for myself,
yes.
Are you criticizing the EFCC then? I'm
saying that EFCC, as I said, is presently in the house of confusion and commotion.
Within itself.
Yes, because ordinarily, such a case is not a private case. It requires the understanding, the acceptance of the Attorney General of the Federation. Don't forget that even if the case is charged to court, the Attorney General of the Federation is empowered under the Constitution to enter a nolli prosecute.
Which means?
So it could be an exercise of futility.
No, not that nolli prosecute. It means for ordinary people.
It means that I don't want to prosecute this case.
There you go. The Attorney General can say that.
Is the end.
And that's the end.
That is the bus stop.
That's the end of the matter. Look, this is following the tenets of the law. This is how this thing will be. But Fassi is saying that, however, would there happen to be more to this than meets the eye? That is a question that is always put up there.
That is the curiosity all of us have. That maybe there is something. Because this is the first time we're hearing of this kind of query being issued to EFCC chairman or acting chairman. This is the first time. So in a way, the query or even the mere mention of the fact that he's issued with a query puts a question mark on his authority.
Well,
you know,
yes.
Excuse me, not on his authority, but on his judgment. On his judgment, there's a difference between
his professional judgment.
Yes, yes, because Magu, as it is now, has boxed himself into a tight corner.
Mm-hmm.
You reckon?
Yes, because it's not at peace with the National Assembly, and now the executive that will savage him is running into stormy weather there too. So at the end of the day, I guess you have to bow out.
That is why I say I think there is something else that is
playing out.
Yes, that is behind this query. Otherwise, maybe we shouldn't even have had it. We shouldn't have known about it. But for making it, you know, an issue is all over the newspapers and the rest of them. Like you said, Magu has been. Many people are not happy with him. National Assembly for one. Mm. It's only, I think, it's the president that is keeping Magu for now, and that's the executive. So if, like my colleague has said here, if the National Assembly is not happy with him, they want him out, if possible today, and then the executive that has been keeping him starts issuing him query. Well,
where is he going to run to?
The speculation is that maybe his days are numbered.
And then the part of it that I don't quite understand is what Fassi explained, that, look, if indeed there's anything improper in all of this, then the impending judgment is sort of
it's arrested.
It's arrested.
It's arrested.
It's arrested. And so I don't know that EFCC as a body will be interested in that kind of an outcome. So therefore, what exactly is going on? So the mystery sort of deepens.
You see, it's the poster that you have raised, and it is the poster that is unresolved by many Nigerians, preponderance of our people. Because the present administration, if you have your house divided within itself, it will be difficult to really attract the empathy of the generality of the people. And don't forget that we have just about a year to the general elections. If we continue to see all these kind of confusions, X-Men killing, massacre, Boko Haram, depleted, undepleted, resurfacing, unsurfacing, and all manners of things happening. And again, the APC itself has set up a reconciliatory body headed by the troubleshooter, and yet members have not been compensated over the last 3 years. So what can we make of the polity? It's so sad that there's a whole of confusion around.
One moment, please. Good morning, Mr. George Nikeja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you, and good morning to the panelists.
Thank you.
Uncle Yori, I am not surprised at the turn of events. You know, right from the beginning, the Attorney General and the EFCC chairman have never been on the same page. Mm-hmm. I believe EFCC chairman has reasons why he does what he does.
Yeah.
There has been several cases where the Attorney General has been fingered in many things that amounted to goofing. And at the end of the day, we will discover that he did not get the president's consent in doing certain things. How do you give a query to EFCC chairman and a query to a lawyer that was hired? Does he have a right to give a query to Kayamu? He is only inviting Kayamu, who even enjoys trouble. So what I'm saying, is that the EFCC chairman knows that there are many things, there are people, there is a clique within that presidency who do not want him, and he probably knows the Attorney General as one of them. Are we not? There are rumors in town, Uncle Yori, that this trial of the Senate president, that money has changed hands with the justice that is being tried. That information is not there. And the letter they are talking about was written last year, September. Why is it coming out now? Why is somebody digging it out now?
Why now? Why now? Well,
so these are some of the questions that one needs to answer. I do not see any confusion here. So in the next 48 hours or so, we will see clarity.
In fact, the 48 hours that was given the gentleman is up today.
It's today.
It's today.
Yes. How do you say you were calling Festus and he did not answer. How do you want him to be talking to the public on a professional issue?
Yes.
This is the first time I'm hearing that Attorney General is giving an external lawyer, an independent lawyer who was briefed for a case. The Attorney General of the Federation is giving him query.
Thank you very much. If Mr. Akuyamo had actually picked up, it was the precise question I wanted to ask him. Say, how do you see, how do you get involved? I mean, receiving a query from government, you not being a government person. I just wanted to ask what his take was.
He's not working for the government.
Let me tell you this. He who pays the piper dictates the tune.
Yes.
That is the dictum in journalism.
Yes.
The same thing applies in the legal profession. If I'm paying you, I need to know why I'm paying you. And you must be able to answer. Because Magu is not absolute. It's responsible to somebody. So if you're taking a brief from somebody, you must know the legality and the conditionalities of the brief. And you must be sure that this brief is worth taking. Because there are some briefs that will land you in trouble.
Well, isn't that why the EFCC tends to favor SANs, who by definition, who by definition are seasoned lawyers?
Excuse me, I take objection to that.
I see.
Are you saying that others are not seasoned?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that what you were raising...
I take objection to that. The fact that you're not a stand does not make you not to be seasoned. The point is,
the point I was trying to make was that,
it's a privilege
that a SAN is not going to make elementary mistakes.
Can make. I say human being.
Okay.
Otherwise, why do I have some of them in court? Being charged for my offenses. Many of them are in court. So you ought to know better that this is a political case. You ought not to get himself involved. And if he's getting himself involved, he must be ready to provide information. And that's the problem when you see senior lawyers seeking briefs from government, because you compromise at the end of the day. Whichever way now.
Yes, but
the man is being embarrassed. Keyamo, my friend, is being embarrassed.
But we haven't heard from Mr. Keyamo.
It's notwithstanding. I mean, it's in the public domain.
It is.
It is in the public domain.
Okay, Reverend Dominic.
You are today.
Very well, Dominic. Thank you very much for calling in.
Good morning to your panelists.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dominic, in several times, I'll show you my photo. I'll show you my photos. I'll show you my dyslexia. Why would
Dominic, the line is horrible. You're just breaking up. So could you please try again? If you heard that, we just couldn't hear you. See if you could get in again. Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Yes.
Now, on the part of Keyamo.
How Keyamo, a private citizen, comes into it, getting a query from a government quarter, which he has explained.
Well, for me, I'm not a lawyer. As you know, from the common man's point of view, when you hire a lawyer, you brief him on what to do, and so he's working on your behalf.
Yes.
Maybe Keyamo wouldn't have taken somebody for trial if the person, his client, had not briefed him to do that.
It's not possible.
I would
guess.
So I look at him as a third-party person in this case.
Why this thing is, as Francis said, and as we all have said, somehow the whole thing is looking sort of somehow. Because I imagine lawyers, especially senior lawyers up and down the land, they just, without even referring to any reference material, know cases that have gone in recent times. So to say that someone like of the status of Keyamo or anybody similar would just, as it were, run into a boo-boo you know, that is why I'm saying that isn't due diligence sort of inherent that, but this man has been discharged twice. Why would you want him again?
Cleared twice. Not
Okay, sorry. You know, since I confessed my total ignorance, yes, and I understand the import of what you're saying, has been cleared twice. Why are you bringing it up again? But that remains to be seen. As Mr. George was saying, do you expect Keyamo to answer a bit by this time?
The lawyer here, my colleague, he said a lawyer ought to know, kind of. A lawyer ought to know in case the brief to accept or not
to accept.
But I think I don't agree to that.
Okay.
A senior lawyer in this country, we're in a meeting, he said lawyers laugh from both sides of the mouth. Yes, that's what he said.
That is
which
true.
means
after laughing from both sides of the mouth,
by the chief judge of Nigeria, Chief Justice, AGF, he can be hired by anybody. EFCC can hire him. He is available for to do his job.
He's a free agent. Okay.
So that's the way I look at it.
Blessing in Plateau State. Good morning.
God bless you, Fiore. How are you doing today?
Good morning, sir. Evangelist Blessing.
Yes. I just want to say something about what is happening.
Sure.
My brother, you see, the problem, this country, I don't know how to go. I don't just know where to start. Because is Magu the only qualified individual to do that job? Because this is somebody that has not been confirmed. And short is sitting there illegally because the National Assembly has never given their head to be there. And the president is keeping him. I mean, I don't just understand. I think it is time for us to get rid of that individual. He has a lot of questionable character here and there. I mean, a lot of things are being raised about him, and nobody cares to address those issues. And he's sitting there. I mean, my brother, the president does not even want to listen to what people are saying. He just keeps somebody that is not, people are not ready to accommodate, and he's keeping him. Just tell him to do the right thing. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in. You see, as you said, so many things are happening. So many things are happening right now. The current case that we are expecting a judgment on, it's not even at all clear if that judgment will be delivered, depending on how all of this goes.
Once it's tried to court formally, Danladi, that is the end of
Justice Danladi Umar.
Yes. Once it's tried to court, you don't expect an accused person facing trial to come over and preside over a case to deliver judgment. Wherein lies equity, wherein lies transparency, wherein lies justice. I mean, it's not possible. So it means you're going to start the case, you didn't know that is, you're going to start the case afresh.
Okay, let's try and see if Reverend Dominic, good morning, Reverend Dominic, again. Dominic? Well, this time, I think, Dominic.
Now?
Yes?
Okay, good morning.
Okay, hi. We can hear you now.
Fine. What I'm saying is this. There's a lot of confusion in this government. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
There's a lot of confusion in this government, created by the government officials by themselves, supervised by our president. Let me give an example. The last caller was talking about the man is sitting there illegally. Now, what makes him illegal? The same executive who brought 2 reports to the Senate. And I know very well that the part of people who hate Magu is the President Attorney General of Nigeria today. Why should Mr. President watch his own staff confuse himself and confuse the workings of government? Why do we go back and forth every day? When I heard that this man trying Senate President has been telling that he's about to try, what I said, this is my own opinion. They want to put this man back on the wall so he can convince the Senate President, or if he cannot convince the Senate President, he will also answer his own case. But why should we take a criminal to catch a criminal? That man, sorry for that language. Why do you take a judge who's on the trial to try a Senate President, who's a Senate President? Where does that happen? What kind of nation is this? I thought by now Omar should have gone because this matter did not start today. For 2-3 years ago, we know Omar is on the trial. Why should the man under trial sitting as a judge in Nigeria? That is not the culture of democracy. The culture of democracy is that everybody that will come to a Christian must come with a clean hand. I'm the pastor. If I come to a church and a woman say, I sleep with her, the normal thing to do for me to step away, not because I did it, for the morality of the altar, for the sanctity of Nigerian government, Umar should step aside. Magu should go away. The Attorney General should go. Let us find sanity in this government for crying loud. God will help Nigeria.
Thank you.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you very much.
One thing should be corrected. They are not yet criminals.
No.
So,
Yes.
so we should be aware of
Yeah.
information.
Well, yes, exactly. And it won't matter, God forbid, bad thing. It won't matter that, well, people know what I meant. The words can be. So we have to be very careful on how we say these things.
I will say, my assessment is that somebody is pushing for something. That's why all this matter is coming up.
Exactly. And you pointed out that we are in a state of...
Fire on the mountain and the political terrain.
Let's go, instead of confusion, let's call it dynamic, quite dynamic. You know, there's a dynamism, you know, going on.
When you talk, you see, I want to see...
Even Obasanjo...
I want to see dynamism as being positive. But the way it is now, it's negativity.
It's too much.
It's negativity and a lot of distractions. We are jumping from one problem, one confusion to another, and all the rest, to the extent that the things are falling apart, so
Indeed.
to say.
Okay, let's go on a break. We'll come back. Things falling apart. Well, Shoyinka has just dismissed Obasanjo's coalition. Somebody else has said Obasanjo himself should be up there being charged. You know, so I don't know. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please. Okay, welcome back. So we'll wait for all of that to unravel itself. Today is the expiration of the 48 hours, you know, the deadline that was given by the AGF to EFCC and Mr. Keyamo. The other thing that caught my attention, gentlemen, is where former President Obasanjo worshipped on Sunday. As you know, this was in, I think, Otueke. He worshipped in
Bayelsa.
In Bayelsa, and was a guest of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. And he spoke of him as my friend, my brother. And there was a closeness, and President Jonathan himself was talking about how great guy Obasanjo was. Fasi, let me start with you again. Give me your impression.
Honestly, it's macabre dance.
Macabre.
Macabre dance.
Because Obasanjo, to me, should be sitting down in his farm at Ota, or at best university, or at his presidential library, not obnobbing, crisscrossing the whole of the federation. It's eating up the polity. Today is for Buhari, tomorrow is for Goodluck Jonathan, next time will be for the dead man, Yaradua.
But the man has freedom of movement.
Freedom of movement.
He was invited to come and help launch some projects.
Excuse me, you are a leader.
Yes.
A leader must be circumspect in his utterances. A leader must know what to do at the right time. This is not the time to destroy, to make, and to unmake. You see, to me, the old man, Chief Doctor Aremo Obasanjo, is a busybody. He's a medicine interloper.
Okay, one moment, please. Gerald in Abuja, good morning.
Uncle Yori, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
To your two amazing guests.
Thank you.
Yes, especially the last one, even though he was very harsh on our Baba, but sometimes it's very difficult to put it any better. I don't want to dwell on Obasanjo. Let me just end on him to make my point by saying the president is not playing the role of a statesman now. He is not being on the side of Nigeria.
No, we have 3 presidents in view now. Which president are you talking about?
That's the former president, Obasanjo.
Obasanjo.
Obasanjo is simply playing politics at the moment. Whose interest is to be served by the politics he's playing now, because he has a right to play some politics, even though he should be thoughtful. It is his personal interest. Obasanjo cannot in good faith say that he has objectively analyzed Buhari, analyzed the challenges of our nation now, and think Buhari has failed. I think he is serving his personal interest. Obasanjo wants to return to be the kingmaker, because from the leaving of Jonathan and Buhari's coming, he has been where he has not been in a very long time, just on the fringes. I end on that by saying the tussle between the AGF and Magu, and something similar to that, EFCC and DSS, then brings one thing to the fore. I am not an authority, but as a Nigerian who doesn't fly with the prevailing sentiment in our national parliament, what I do is I sit down, I think, I listen to everybody, I dig for the fact, which unfortunately most of us Nigerians don't do. We just run with the prevailing sentiment. What is happening is that President Buhari finds himself in a difficult place. Difficult place because when he came into power, if Buhari had won the presidency under his party, CPC, none of these things will be happening. It is the team, the coalition, if you like, the admixture of different power brokers, Atiku then, Bukola Saraki, that we don't know where he is, whether he's with Atiku or he's going to jump away, the Dino Melaye, the Tinubu, with so many other big powers that brought Buhari into power. That is what actually is causing this trouble. Should Buhari return second term, I say, when he thinks that he does not have anything to lose, servicing the various mega interests and power brokers that brought him in, you will be shocked at what will happen. Let me end by simply saying this, Uncle Yori. Thank you for your time to I'm ending.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling.
Fantastic contribution.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Look,
yes.
There are those who also, because there are also speculations in the air, especially when Obasanjo refers to Jonathan after the letter, after copious letters, as my brother and my friend. Is Obasanjo with style romancing PDP still? Because he was in Bielsa at the instance, of a PDP administration. Yes. He was there to help launch. So why was he invited to come and launch PDP?
In full Izon regalia.
Yes, PDP stuff. And he had on the, is it Izon? Because it's one general. So he was in that, you saw it. So what exactly?
Now, let me begin by, saying what Zeke of Africa once said. He said, in politics, there is no permanent friend and no permanent enemy.
No permanent interest.
What you have is permanent interest. What is your interest in whatever?
Okay. So you just finish messing with a person. You mess a person up thoroughly, and then
so when
he can become your brother.
Says that Jonathan is his friend
and his brother,
he's right. Because it was Obasanjo that made Jonathan. It was Obasanjo that brought Jonathan to the limelight, political limelight in Nigeria. It was Obasanjo that established Jonathan. Then at the end, it was the same Obasanjo that ruined him.
But as
now, today,
his brother and friend.
Now he's trying to align with what Zeke said. In politics, there's no permanent friend. Sorry, there's no permanent friend. Yes, no permanent enemy.
No permanent
interest.
There's only permanent interest.
For going to Jonathan, there must be something he wants. He wants something. And Jonathan is such a person that will easily fall to whatever. You see, Obasanjo, for me, in Igbo, there's something we call, if you are going to your farm on a footpath, and there is a mud somewhere on the footpath, the Igbo say there's no way you will avoid putting your leg in that
in the puddle.
In that puddle. Obasanjo is that puddle on the footpath to the farm. There's no way you can avoid him in the politics of Nigeria today.
Sadiq in Dutse, please, thank you for holding on all this while.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to two gentlemen, your guests.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uncle Yori, Obasanjo has been in the history, in the record of writing to all presidents, be it good or be it bad. So I don't know what he's achieving. Just last week, he made a U-turn. He said, President Muhammadu Buhari has achieved where you could not achieve. So it means there's a success in what this administration is doing. But the good thing is, to be frank, 2019, the election is going to be between the elite and the masses. Because the elite, they are doing all possible best to see that they overthrow him out of government, because some of what they have been enjoying is no longer there in the political scenario. So that's why. So what Obasanjo has been doing is just trying to retract what he said the earlier time, that Buhari should not recontest again, because he has no good reason for saying that. That's why he's trying to retract again, coming back to say that no, he has done well in where they could not have achieved well. So that is my little contribution, query.
Thank you very much for calling in, Sadiq. So yes. if Obasanjo's coalition is facing stormy weather, you got to hand it to the chief. He wouldn't have expected less. It's like the OBJ we know. He will be happy that, as you said, oh, now I'm on everybody's lips. You said you can't avoid him. He's a puddle. He's the puddle on the way to the farm.
To your farm. You must put your leg inside.
well, to other parts of the country, yes. But from this side of the country, the southwest, nobody reckons much with him. Okay. I say that authoritatively, because he never won. Even in his word, he lost.
And if that is true, then he can't be pleased about that.
Yeah, so he's looking for relevance elsewhere. And that is why. Because look at the creation of Obasanjo was made possible by the northern oligarchy, especially the military mafia. The Yoruba never wanted him. And the point made by my colleague, honestly, that thing should be thrown to the dustbin of history. We must have credibility in Nigerian politics. And we must institutionalize policy. We must have ideology. You see, we have come this bad because our politics lacks ideology. We lack credibility. Anything goes. To the extent that we don't even know the difference between APC and PDP and the rest 60 or 70 political parties.
APC will take exception, PDP will take exception to that statement. We don't know the difference.
What is that? Okay, what is the philosophy? What is the ideology?
They are saying that, well, they say they are not the same. I remember...
It's all in the name. Those who constituted APC today, the preponderance of them came from PDP.
Unfortunately. Olanrewaju, good morning. In Akure, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Sir, I have been trying to call in this program for some time now, and I thank God that today I could.
We're happy you got through today.
I see in Obasanjo differently from what your guests are describing.
Sure, let's hear your take.
That we should not be an impediment to the progress and unity of this nation. Obasanjo left power some time ago, and as a person in power, he might not have seen some obvious mistake then. So if he's out of the power, definitely we have time to reflect and see some things that maybe he has not done, or maybe he did not do well, maybe what he ought to have done that was not done. So this is in the best position to pinpoint to the incoming or to the leader that is presently ruling. It is in the best interest, maybe your guests, and Uncle Yori, I want to accuse you, some of your guests normally, they used to be the aged one, and I think you should try to invite youth. So sometimes the analysis, they go back to 1978. What is the business of 1978? The President Buhari is the president. Obasanjo has pointed some errors. Though you might think it's political, Obasanjo cannot talk without introducing politics. But his life has been full of politics.
Mr. Olaniwaju,
he pointed to
government
need to sit review.
What would be your view when people say Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo is just being meddlesome?
I frankly disagree. When they used to say one local in our area that when your friend is eating a rat that has a big nerve and you don't talk at night, when the disturbance of that person will affect the sleep of the house. So Obasanjo has nothing to lose, but we, the incoming generation, that
because it is you, Olaniwaju, that Obasanjo is fighting for. He said he wants the youth. The youth have to come and claim their country. Remember?
Baba Bisi Akande, most of what Obasanjo stated, Baba Bisi Akande has stated even worse, even more.
Okay.
Baba Bisi Akande voiced out that we cannot continue like this. And Baba Bisi Akande is one of the most honest Nigerians that is living.
Yeah, but there are plenty of honest Nigerians. But thank you very much, Mr. Olaniwaju. I got to make space for other people. Thank you very much. Interesting, because we take all perspectives. So that's his perspective. He threw in an interesting Yoruba proverb. I'm not going to go. But
that's if you don't want to sleep.
Only if you don't want to sleep.
Yeah.
But the point he was making is that, look, what you're doing is going to lead to a problem later on, and it's going to concern everybody. It won't just be a matter of you alone. And that, he said, is Obasanjo's mission, which Obasanjo pretty much stated himself, that should the time come, and then people want to say, what did you do? I'm going to be able to point to this letter.
Excuse me. This is a man that was intolerant of other people's views. He appointed special advisors and he told them point blank that you are free to advise me.
I don't have to listen to
you. I don't have to listen to you.
I don't have to take your advice.
I don't have to take your advice.
Yes.
So,
but that is true.
The problem with us in this country is that
it's not that the man is totally true.
We'd like to play to the gallery. What stop anybody very close to the president, not people like us, I mean, we are nobody, from talking senses into him? Will General Obasanjo really want to see Buhari today? It will not be granted audience. What has people made of what he said? Now, at the same time, you have said this, now you're going to, somebody you condemned, that you have something to do in Bayelsa State.
Yes.
And now that one has suddenly become your friend, your brother.
Yes.
You see,
because the whole thing is seen as being...
You see, our psyche is being assaulted.
Okay, I got to take Shehu in Bauchi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Morning to you and your guests.
Thank you.
Good morning.
What I observed, how I experienced with Obasanjo's visit to Bayelsa State, or I can see he visited former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan personally, is that all what Obasanjo has been doing or saying is like he's going contrary against the administration of the president of that's the head of state, President Muhammad Buhari. And it's like, as Obasanjo is one of the political tycoons here in our beloved country, Nigeria. So, as a big man or one of the political tycoons, as we all know, so he's not supposed to be doing things in such a way that will easily bring us into, it's like, my point here is that what I'm trying to say is what Obasanjo said against the administration of President Buhari will easily before, I'm not praying for that, but if he continues doing such things, he can easily block the division of our country.
Okay.
Between South and the East. So, advisory, President Obasanjo decamped from PDP to ANPP as of last 2 to 3 years back. That's before the general election of 2015.
Thank you very much for calling in. If I got him, did he say President Obasanjo there's a potential to rock the boat of state, of our statehood, and of the administration,
yes,
the sitting administration?
Yes.
That might not be right. You know,
that is his own take.
Yes,
because trying to interpret how President Jonathan,
we need to correct him,
that was wiped out by President Obasanjo, now has suddenly transformed into his friend and brother.
If I can come in, you see, when APC came,
and now they're doing encore with each other.
Yes, when APC came in 2015, they exploited the psyche of Nigerians. Nigerians were looking for change. Nigerians want things were changing. It got to a point in the PDP administration after 16 years that people were feeling, you know, the feeling was palpable. So APC exploited that psyche to say, okay, we are going to give you change. Now, the same thing, if I may say, is happening now. There is a palpable feeling by Nigerians that life is hard today. That's a general feeling of Nigerians. Go on the street and ask anybody. The feeling is that life is hard today. We are suffering. And it is that feeling that Obasanjo wants to exploit now. He is feeling, that is why he said there is need to, this government has not done well. He wrote a letter, it's open, it's not hidden. This government has not done well. Nigerians are suffering and things like that. We need a third force to make things better. So it's the same.
The coalition.
A coalition, whatever he calls it.
Mazi Okoro for Inaro Chukwu, good morning.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sayori, the weekend visit there was a welcome to me as an individual. See, Nigerian past leaders should be working as a family, as an engine room for progress of the country, not criticizing. You see, the country that belongs to us, no matter what happens, if you like go to Russia or go to South Africa and establish your business, you still come back to Nigeria. Why? Because your generation yet to come in future, they are our partner. If we destroy it, that is why I used to think about let us, we borrow all the presidential everything we are doing in Nigeria from outside countries. Let us copy those good things from outside countries. You saw what happened when this man died, how the people there welcome. The way the people behave will show you that the interest of the country matters with the past leaders. So I pray, let this relationship that exists over the weekend will be a continuous exercise. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Yeah. Because
that reminds me.
Yes.
You see, all these bubble of voices we are hearing, they have forum to articulate their views. We have National Council of States that all past head of states are members. And all past Senate presidents are equally members. So all these issues, they don't need to play to the gallery and be telling the whole world and be messing each other up and all the rest. They should be able to articulate their views.
Yeah, but it's clear that there are, I would guess that there are calculations, political calculations going on. Professor Samuel will call it political calculus.
Yes, but what are we to make of it? Now, the champion of the third force is saying that it's not a political party. If it's not a political party, how does it translate to election? And he's saying that if it turns into a political party, it will opt out.
You will opt out.
So what are you trying to achieve? I mean, I can't get it, I'm trying to really...
talk to him. We need to interview him.
And so far, Baba has not made himself available for any interview. Mr. Sonny in Apapa, Lagos, good morning. Sonny in Apapa.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Mr. Sani. I'm calling from Apapa, Lagos.
Your name is Dr.?
Sani from
yes.
Apapa, Lagos.
Welcome. Welcome, Dr. Sani.
Yeah, I've been enjoying your conversation with your guests this morning, and they have really made a vital point from the ongoing thing in Nigeria. So, like, reference to the letter of Obasanjo, you see, the reason why people like Obasanjo, I think people like Obasanjo can still come outside to make statement, an open statement, is because he discovered that most of Nigerians lack the ability to think for themselves. They always follow what people said and what people are saying. They lack the ability to even think for themselves. Because if you look at Obasanjo as a public official since 1976, you can see his contribution to this whole problem of Nigeria today. You can see the level of corruption he introduced to the National Assembly when he was there. You can see the $16 billion power, whatever that gone missing, that today we never seen anything. No, is life hard today in Nigeria? Yes, it is hard. Why is life hard today? It's another question that we must ask ourselves. Is it the problem of the fault of Buhari that a government inherits an empty treasury, trying to work on a mono economy that he inherits from the past Obasanjo and the rest? If it is now Obasanjo now know that he has an advice for government, he was the one that introduced a stigma to this country. That is head that is just this. No. After that, he introduced the same Jonathan, who come to turn Nigeria to how would I even put it? He turned Nigeria to a cake that can be shared between family, using a girlfriend to become minister. Wow. He was there all through. Just for him to come today to now start telling us that I really appreciate the two guests, and I thank God for the level of their intellectualism.
All right then. Dr. Sani, like we've run out of time.
Continue the cleanup he has started, and may God give him the strength to complete it. Nothing good comes easy, according to one of my lecturers in Unilag.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Sani, he said a number of things in there that is not our style. Total, I don't know, is to the extent that you couldn't back anything he said up. I don't want to go over it again, but you know what he said.
We'll pray that God will forgive him.
But thank you very much, Dr. Sani, for your contribution. There was just one aspect where you brought in women, certain women. But anyhow, thank you very much, gentlemen. We still are scratching our head a bit about the letter of inquiry to EFCC, or to Magu particularly, and Mr. Keyamo. That we will know today, all our things being equal. Sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Fasi Yusuf.
A pleasure.
Thank you very much, Dr. Luke Onyenkekeya.
Thank you very much.
That's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. That will be at 10:30 in the morning. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.